Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, you've really given us something fascinating. We've got sources linking ancient spiritual teachings with, well, the latest in cognitive neuroscience.
It's quite a mix, isn't it? We're looking at godly knowledge, the balance of humility and service,
Right.
specifically teachings from Shiv Baba during what's called the Confluence Age. That's the time between, the old cycle and the coming golden age.
And what's really grabbed me is how practical these teachings seem, almost like a blueprint.
Exactly. It's like consciousness engineering, as you said.
So our mission today is to figure out this core balance the source talks about. It's between nirman, that's service or like construction,
The outward action, yeah.
and nirmanada, which is the inner state of humility.
Self-effacement, right.
We need to understand how these work together, not just spiritually, but, physically, neurologically, energetically.
And what's so striking right from the start is how these sources translate spiritual ideas directly into scientific analogies.
Like what?
Like vibrational blueprints, dopamine versus serotonin balance, neuroplasticity. It's all in there. It bypasses abstract faith and gets into, well, quantifiable patterns.
Okay, let's dive in. Segment 1 starts with this foundational idea, the blueprint of self. The text mentions the Bhagiraka, the fate line.
The fate line.
Now, normally you'd think fate is fixed, sealed,
You
right?
would, yeah. But the source says, no, it's dynamic. It gives this dual interpretation.
Okay, tell us about that.
So, spiritually, it's described as a kind of divine code drawn by God's pen. It says, vibrating with the soul's best patterns, it's sanskars.
Sanskars. Those are the deep subconscious habits.
Exactly, those ingrained patterns. But then comes the scientific bit, the nugget.
Okay.
The source calls the fate line a vibrational memory field.
Whoa, okay, a vibrational memory field. That sounds pretty out there, almost quantum.
It does, doesn't it? Think of it like this. Your brain's constantly emitting electromagnetic signals, right? This field is like a subtle energy imprint of all your past actions, your karmic vibrations. It radiates from your brain, your aura. Modern science might call it your energy signature.
An energy signature.
Yeah, and the crucial point for you, the listener, is this. It's not fixed.
Yeah.
The source is very clear. Your actions, especially what are called superior actions, immediately change the signature. They brighten the light of this line.
So you're literally redrawing your own fate line in real time.
That's the idea. You're actively rewriting the blueprint.
Okay, if we're redrawing it, how do we check our work? This brings us to stew checking.
The inner audit of consciousness.
An audit sounds potentially harsh. Like, how do you do that without falling into self-criticism or, spiritual burnout?
That's a really important point. The source presents stew checking less as an emotional review and more like a system check, a regulation check.
Okay.
Neurologically, doing this daily, this self-checking, it activates key brain areas. The prefrontal cortex, your executive control center.
Right, the CEO of the brain.
Exactly. And the insula, which is all about awareness of your internal state. Body awareness, emotional awareness.
So it's not about judging yourself, but about managing yourself, applying like objective governance.
Precisely. You're using your brain's higher functions to manage the lower, more reactive habits. And doing this regularly, consistently, it slowly rewires those deep sanskars.
Oh.
By, as the source puts it, tuning your frequency. You're consciously making new, healthier neural pathways fire, and that weakens the old defaults.
Interesting. Okay, so if stuff checking is the internal management system, what's the ultimate goal? Where should we aim? The text connects this inner piece to a huge vision, one kingdom, one religion.
Yeah, that sounds massive, world-changing.
It does, but the analysis pulls it right back inside to neurological harmony.
Spiritually, one kingdom just means total self-rule, mastery over your own mind, intellect, and those sanskars.
Okay.
And one religion means achieving a single pure vibration of thought. No inner conflict, no mental static.
And how does my brain actually do that kind of unity?
Scientists call it coherence, brain coherence.
Coherence.
Yeah. When your thoughts, your feelings, and what you actually do, your actions all line up perfectly, your brain achieves this highly efficient, coherent state.
And what does that feel like?
That's where the deep inner peace comes from. Clarity. Your brain stops wasting energy on internal battles or second guessing. It becomes incredibly efficient for making decisions, for performing well.
That sounds like real efficiency. Which I guess brings us to happiness. We're always chasing that buzz, that reward feeling. But the source warns that happiness from, stuff that doesn't last. It's fleeting. Avinashi Sukh, permanent happiness, what's that about?
Well, first, we have to admit that most of what the world calls happiness is primarily dopamine-driven.
The reward chemical.
Right. It's the reward circuit firing. It feels good, sure, but it's a temporary high. And it often leads to needing more and more stimulus just to get the same feeling. It's just not sustainable.
So what's the alternative? This Avinashi Sukh?
According to these teachings, the joy you find through deep meditation, through that divine connection or remembrance, it comes from a different chemical mix, more of a serotonin-oxytocin balance.
Serotonin and oxytocin. Okay, what's the difference in feeling?
Serotonin provides that stable sense of well-being, quiet contentment. Oxytocin is about connection, trust, warmth. Together, they create a happiness that's stable, peaceful, quiet. And crucially, it's independent of what's happening outside you.
Ah, so it's generated internally.
Exactly. It just shifts joy from being something you chase outside to something that's just your stable internal operating state.
Okay, achieving that stable state clearly takes work. The source mentions Tirava Purusharth. Intense effort.
Intense effort, yes.
How does that map onto the brain science?
It maps directly onto neuroplasticity. We know the brain changes most effectively when it's challenged intensely and consistently.
Right, like learning a new skill.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So intense focus, like the kind you achieve in deep soul-conscious meditation, dramatically speeds up that neuroplastic rewiring. If sanskars are just neural patterns,
then intense effort is like the fast track to creating new ones.
precisely. You're carving new pathways, reinforcing the desired state much more rapidly.
Which brings us right back to that core duality we started with. Balancing nirman, service, the action, with the nirmanada stage, humility, the inner state. Why is holding both so critical? Can't you just focus on doing good service?
But that's the heart of it, isn't it? The source calls it the karma yoga equilibrium. Service, nirman, is essential. It's the outward work, building things, helping others, strengthening those positive neural pathways.
Okay.
But nirmanada, humility, is the essential foundation. It's the inward vibration. If you do service without humility, well, the action gets contaminated.
Contaminated by what? Ego?
By ego, yes. I did this, look at my great work. And neurologically, that's counterproductive.
How so? What does humility do for the brain during service?
Science is showing that humility isn't just, a nice virtue. It's actually a neurological requirement for truly effective interaction. Yes. Humility activates empathy circuits in the brain. Think mirror neurons. This allows for genuine connection, understanding others' needs, fostering harmony. Without that empathy, driven by humility, service can actually create friction, even if the intention is good.
So the how matters as much as the what.
Absolutely. The source even gives a formula. Success, humility nirmanada, plus purity nirmulta. Purity meaning essentially freedom from that ego contamination.
That makes perfect sense. Humility ensures the connection is clean so the service lands properly.
Exactly. It's the difference between just doing tasks and truly connecting and uplifting.
Okay, let's shift to the results of all this balanced effort. The source talks about an energy accounting system. 3 accounts we need to deposit into daily.
Yes, it's like ensuring your spiritual and, you could say, neurological solvency. Keeps you in credit.
What are the 3?
Okay, first is self-energy growth. That comes from your own consistent personal effort through Purusharth.
Right.
Second is pure karmic credit. That's earned through genuinely selfless service done with that nirmanada and nirmulta.
Humility and purity.
Okay. And the third one is fascinating.
Right.
The account of blessings, Kakata. This is built mainly through maintaining contentment.
The blessings account, Doan Kakata. I want to linger on that one. How does the science side explain getting blessings back just by being content? How do positive vibrations get deposited?
Well, it loops back to the idea of thoughts as electromagnetic energy.
Okay.
Every thought sends out a pulse, a vibration. According to this view, pure thoughts, peaceful thoughts, selfless thoughts, they create what the source calls positive resonance.
Positive resonance, like tuning forks.
Sort of, yeah. It's a high-frequency vibration field you generate. It affects your own inner state, obviously, but it also influences how the environment, including other people, responds to you. You're essentially broadcasting peace and purity.
And that signal attracts similar energy back. That's the blessing.
That's the mechanism described. The positive resonance you create is reflected back to you by the universe, or maybe more practically, by the community and circumstances around you.
Okay, that's a powerful model. Now, what stops this? What's the big obstacle to keeping these accounts full? The text points to the egoic circuit.
Ah, yes. defined as I and mineness.
I and mine. Why is that so detrimental from a brain perspective?
Neuroscience gives us a pretty clear picture. Ego thrives on comparison, on feeling important, on defending itself. All that constantly activates the amygdala.
The fear and stress center.
Exactly. Which means the egoic circuit keeps you in a state of chronic, low-level stress and tension. It's a massive drain on your mental and emotional energy.
Whereas humility?
Humility does the opposite.
Yep.
It shifts brain activity away from the amygdala and towards the prefrontal cortex, the center for calm, creativity, rational thought, connection. So letting go of I and mine isn't about losing yourself. It's about plugging into a much more powerful and efficient divine circuit, as the source might put it. It's the optimal state.
And achieving that optimal state, mastering that internal world, the source calls that becoming a Swarajya Adhikari.
A self-sovereign. Yes.
What does that look like neurologically? Total self-command.
It means your brain's executive control system is fully online and in charge. We're talking about the prefrontal cortex working in perfect harmony with other regulatory areas, like the anterior cingulate cortex.
So full control over impulses, emotions.
Complete rule.
Yeah.
You're not being thrown around by reactions or external events. You have authority over your inner state. That's the neurobiology of Swarajya. You are the ruler of the self.
And to maintain that state, that sovereignty, there's a final tip. Attention ghee. Attenton rupee grit.
It's a wonderful metaphor, isn't it?
It really is. Explain it.
Just like ghee fuels a lamp, keeping the flame steady. Daily, focused attention practice strengthens the brain's attention networks, your ability to concentrate, to remain aware.
So attention is the fuel.
It's a fuel that maintains coherence. This constant, gentle focus helps sustain that calm, aware state often associated in meditators with the alpha-theta brainwave rhythm.
Alpha theta. What does that state actually feel like? Is it just being zoned out?
Not zoned out, more like. Deeply relaxed, yet highly aware. It's that twilight state, almost, between waking and sleep. But it's incredibly important because that's when the brain is most receptive to insight, creativity, and crucially, subconscious reprogramming.
So it's the optimal state for continuing that sanskara transformation.
Precisely. Focused awareness, the attention ghee, keeps you in that potent, changeable state of consciousness.
Okay, so let's bring this all together. After this deep dive, what's the practical takeaway for us? The core message seems to be stay active, be busy in service, Nirman, but always maintain that internal balance of humility, Nirmanata, and purity, Nirmata.
That's the essence. And the source doesn't just leave it there. It gives you concrete steps like homework to actually build this neurological and spiritual balance, to literally change your vibrational blueprint.
What are those steps again?
Start today with visualization. See yourself as a shining star, radiating purity. Then hourly checks, just a quick internal audit. Am I in humility, or has ego crept into my creation, my service?
Hourly checks? That's demanding.
It is. It requires that Tarava Purusharth, an intense effort.
Yeah.
Also using normal vani speech that heals, that's pure, not words that hurt or criticize. And finally, that evening charting, reviewing your day honestly. Where did mineness, where did the ego show up in my service today?
It's powerful because it takes these spiritual ideals, which can sometimes feel a bit abstract, and frames them as essentially the most efficient way to operate neurologically. Virtue becomes high-level function.
It moves beyond just being good and into being maximally effective and coherent. It's spiritual engineering.
Which leaves us, as always, with the final thought to chew on, stemming from this idea of intense neuroplastic effort.
Yes. If intense focus, combined with pure thought, fueled by humility, literally accelerates the physical rewiring of your brain, changing your deepest patterns, your sanskars, then could it be that deep spiritual humility isn't just a virtue we aspire to, but actually the most scientifically efficient pathway to maximizing your brain's processing power, its coherence, and its capacity for empathy? Is humility the ultimate brain hack? Think about that as you go about your service, maintaining your nirmanata.